Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We are finishing up today, looking at the surface of the earth and what's on it. So that means this is the last section of notes for this first unit, which means that starting tomorrow, you're going to be getting ready for our Unit 1 test. And that Unit 1 test will be several days from today. But let's finish up this lesson. So we're talking about what is found on the earth that we as human beings use for our benefit. And those items are called natural resources. So they are these materials in nature that people use and we give a value to. Why? Because they have some sort of benefit to us as humans. We have a use for them. Some of those resources that are found are just general resources that we humans need, such as air and water, soil for agriculture. But you have other resources on the earth that we can't just take and use right away, that we have to make something else out of. And those are what we call raw materials. So raw materials are something that we take out of the earth, but we make something else out of for our benefit. An example would be we get metal out of the earth, and we would have to make that into the material to make bicycles with. There are two types of natural resources on our earth that we'll categorize them into. We have renewable resources and non-renewable resources. They are just as their terms say. Renewable resources mean that they can replenish themselves naturally. You can create more of them fairly easily. Whereas non-renewable resources cannot be replaced. Once they are used up, they are gone. It took many years for those natural resources even to be created on the earth. That once they're gone in our lifetime, they're gone. We're not able to replenish them. One of the biggest natural resources that we as humans consume are energy resources, because our modern lives are very dependent upon energy. We use energy to heat our homes, to have our lights. We use energy to drive our cars. We use energy here sitting at school. In fact, for the lessons that we're doing right now, since we're doing them digitally, we're having to use energy to create the electricity and the internet so that we can transmit these lessons to you at home. So the biggest energy resource that we use as humans are called fossil fuels. And fossil fuels are those items such as coal, petroleum, which is made into gasoline, and natural gas. And a lot of homes now are being heated by natural gas, even more so than coal. Coal used to be the big thing that we use to heat our homes. But there are some problems with fossil fuels. First, they are a non-renewable resource. So once we use all of them up, it's gone. Right now in our lifetime, there are still fossil fuels left. However, we as humans keep consuming more and more and more of them each year, that eventually we will have none of them left on the earth for us to use as energy resources. The other problem with burning fossil fuels for energy resources is that they really can pollute the air. If you would have been in Pittsburgh about 100 years ago, the city of Pittsburgh was one of the most polluted cities in maybe the world. Why? Because they had so many factories there. There was coal burning factories. They were making iron and steel. So there was a lot of pollution in the air from those energy resources. Now I said that a lot of people are switching to natural gas right now. Natural gas of these fossil fuels are the cleanest burning of the fossil fuels, but not completely clean burning, but it is the cleanest burning of those fossil fuels, meaning putting less pollution into the air. Now, renewable energy resources, ways that we can get power from items on our earth that will last forever, are hydroelectric power. That's power that comes from water. You build a hydroelectric dam on a river, And that dam, as the water slowly goes through it, spins turbines inside that actually through those turbines will be able to create electricity. And as long as the river is flowing, because as long as you're getting rainfall, and we know our climates and where to put them, that you're going to have rainfall, that you can have a constant source of power. That is very clean power, not putting pollutants into the air. Same thing with wind power. You're seeing more and more of the big windmills, the turbines, being placed. In fact, if you go over the mountains from Route 30, west of Shellisburg, you would see a whole bunch of the big windmills on that ridge line. So you're able to take something, the wind, that is just naturally occurring on the earth because of its processes, and you're able to produce electricity from it. And then same thing with solar power. Solar power is becoming more and more prevalent as the technology is changing, and they're getting better, and it's being produced cheaper to harness the solar energy through solar panels. So we get that from the sun. So as long as the sun's out, or the sun's burning, we're able to get solar energy. And if the sun was not burning, we wouldn't as a species be here anyway. So the sun is definitely a renewable resource. We also have mineral resources that we use. And the mineral resources are what we take and we make other items out of. Gold is an example of one of these mineral sources. We as people have determined that gold has some sort of value. In fact, we have used it to make a lot of jewelry with. So minerals are one of those items that we also use as a natural resource from the earth. However, minerals are non-renewable. So once we use up all of that mineral on the earth, there's no more of it. But what can we do to combat that? We can recycle it. A lot of places have aluminum recycling so that you don't have to mine the minerals from the earth to produce the aluminum cans. If you can recycle them, then you're not having to find new mineral resources. Many minerals are only found in certain locations though. So some countries have benefited because there's more mineral resources, or there are different types of mineral resources that are worth more in certain areas. If you travel to the country of the United Arab Emirates, which is in Southwest Asia, it's a very dry, desert country. But there's a lot of wealth in that country. Why? Because they have an abundance of oil reserves located underneath them in that country. So they have those resources that they're able to use and market and make living from and provide for that country. So countries benefit from the minerals that they have in them. All right. So that actually is the end of our slides for today, which means our notes for this whole first unit are officially done, which also means that starting tomorrow, we're going to get ready for our Unit 1 test. The Unit 1 test is going to be items from all of our Unit 1 notes. So if you've taken the notes, you should do okay on it. If you complete the review and study from it, you should do okay on the test. And the test is going to be on Google Forms. And I am going to trust, I'm going to put the test in locked mode, that you are an honest individual while taking the test. So, make sure you've completed everything in today's classroom assignment, and we'll see you next time, and we'll get ready for that test.